Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to show you how I built this floating table. I'm Lance and this is my workshop. So I found a bunch of these tables online and I made a model using popsicle sticks and strings without doing measurements or calculations. Pretty cool. So I decided to do it. Let's see if I can build a bigger one. That's what I built today. Since I wanted 8 boards all exactly 30 inches long, I measured one very carefully to my saw and put stop blocks at the end so I could get all of them exactly the same length. We can cut all the remaining boards. These are the 2 diagonal supports. This is kind of a corner support, edge supports, another edge corner support. These are going to be the 2 top pieces. So I'm going to go sand these down, get all the lumber marks off of them and all the little fuzzies from cutting. And I'll come back to you. Hey, whenever possible, set up a jig. So I'm going to make, in all my 8 boards, I'm going to make a hole at each end. So 16 holes I need to build. So it took a couple minutes. Drop down some boards to a piece of plywood. Cut the plywood down in place. And now I can make my 16 holes all exactly the same. It takes a few minutes to set it up, but it works pretty good. The section of each frame is fairly simple. It's just boards overlapped each other. The most complicated part of the whole thing is to get this one situated properly. I have to put that together before I put the other board on the bottom of that. So I figure out how I can get this to hold itself up. Never underestimate the power of the clamp. That's how this works. When in doubt, add more clamps. So I also needed a hole all the way through this board at a weird angle. So the best way to do it is just use the hole in the 2x4 as a guide. Use a hand drill and drill all the way through. Like so. So to ensure the holes line up, I'm running my long drill bit just through the hole so that I can verify that the holes are lined up with each other. Oops. This is supposed to go towards the middle, not outside the outside like that. So I attached a diagonal brace with pocket screws here and then 4 work screws here for that diagonal brace that goes in the corner. We're just going to tie all the other braces to the vertical one. This is just dry fit, but this block will go right there. This block will go here. And this block on the other side go right there, like so. Makes this very, very, very stable. Okay, the bottom is now complete. Well, except for this board, which is on here. I'm not sure exactly where I need to put it exactly, so that's for last minute adjustment. But other than that, the bottom is complete. I say it's the bottom because the top's going to be slightly different. Almost the same. Okay, the difference between the bottom and the top is that the bottom is going to have this sticking out through it. So I'll tighten it up. And then I'll have a block out here for a foot. Whereas the top, this is going to be embedded in the board. And I'll show you that in a little bit. So using a Forstner bit and a chisel, it gouges out. So that'll fit there. And the other boards will go on top of it. Through there. And so from the top of the table, you won't see the bolt. Yeah, it's still got the full strength of the 2x4 to pull against. You're just not going to see it from the top of the table. So the second one goes on together much like the other side did, except that I got the cords sticking through on all the corners. Okay, so the toughest part was trying to get this whole thing leveled. Yeah, a hand would have helped, I guess. Now you can thread the cables in the corners and tie it down. Now the moment of truth, we'll remove all the clamps that are holding it together and see if the cables are holding it up. It's working. Not all cables are tight though. So I tightened up all the horizontal straps just a little bit. I mean, it's moving down just a 1/16 of an inch or less. And then I repositioned it on the side. Thought it made it a little easier to work on. And reattach everything. Now we're trying to stand it up. So far so good. Let's check out some stability of it. That was a little loose. Good. Good. A little wiggle as you expect. So I can tighten one of these two. It's a little wobbly that way. This way is good. A little bit of wiggle this way, which is like you'd expect it to do. But other than that, it's working pretty good. So here's my floating table. These are not rods, these are just string cords. These are